Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for our third quarterfinal of the day. We've got Bronze Army versus Arctic Wolves. And not too much of a surprise there to see a Gideon banned out first by Bronze Army. And this is going to be our first time seeing the new Arctic Wolves roster on stream. So, Gems, if you just take a look at these guys, are you excited or are you not excited?
It looks like a strong composition. But what I really want to talk about more than the team comp is the order of the bans. Bronze Army, having first pick, decided to ban Gideon when they could have just decided to ban something else, force that ban onto Arctic Wolves to take initiative and then pick Gideon for themselves. Depending on which pick or ban you are first, you can force a hero that you want. They could have potentially forced the Gideon should they have chosen to. Instead, they've elected to first pick this Grux, thinking the new Grux is incredibly strong, but I'm not sure if he's first pick potential. As you can see, Arctic Wolves do get a Rampage and a Wraith in return.
Yeah, that's a very strong combo to get first. And it's a very good point that you bring up that Bronze Army kind of give something up themselves when they ban out the Gideon. And we did see CMS Stark take the Gideon mid lane earlier today, so it's not even like something that they can't really play. It's something that they're used to, and they probably could have left up a little bit longer. But what that does mean is that we leave the Iggy and Scorchin, and also if we look at their pick, like having a Grux, perhaps they just put a little bit more priority on that one.
Yeah, they might just really like the Grux. He is a strong hero, but it depends on what you're giving up. That's kind of the thing. You kind of want to pick what you think is the best and what you think won't leave up too much on the board as well. That's also really crucial. A lot of teams miss out on that fact. That by picking this, you've left up Rampage, Shimby, Wraith, basically. And they're going to take a pick of those. Are you okay with them taking 2 out of 3 of those is the question you need to pick. Ask yourself, and if you are, then that's fine. In this case, it looks like Bronze Army are okay with it. They're going for the Grux and the Steel instead.
Arctic Wolves will pick up the Narbash for their third pick, which is again another hero that works quite well with the Wraith. But Bronze Army, I'm especially interested in seeing the Steel in the third pick position. Generally not picked up that early from the teams, but we saw Miso Sneaky get in a pretty good performance on it earlier.
Yeah, he did pretty well. But again, I'm interested to see sort of what they decide to round it up. Their engage is pretty short, actually. Grux kind of has to get up and close to use the Smash and grab. Same with Steel, they kind of have to run up, so they're really reliant on sort of Bellica Seismic Assault to allow them to run up, or a good flank. So vision control is going to be crucial for Bronze Army, so they can get those into those flanking positions to set up a lot of their plays.
It occurs to me that they really do need a whole lot of setup, because there are some things from Arctic Wolves that kind of interrupt their combo, with the Shimby dashing out with the rushing beat, as well as Wraith getting the back it up in there as well. I would think that Bronze Army really need to make sure that their setups go well with this composition, because if they can, they've got a whole lot going for them. But if they don't actually hit the combos like they need to, as it is with most teams, they're probably going to find themselves in a bit of a bad situation.
Yeah, I agree completely. And Crunch, again, we've been seeing Crunch all day, hasn't been performing for us, though. He has been gaining popularity with the animation boost, but hasn't actually done well in all the matches we've been seeing him. Has actually fallen pretty flat. Will it happen to Bronze Army as well? We'll have to watch out, but it's interesting to see. A hero a lot of people have been picking more in popularity hasn't been doing as great as people would expect.
So that'll lead us up to the last pickup for Arctic Wolves. It will be a gadget for themselves. And we are finally here at the end of our draft for game number 1. Gems, which of these heroes do you think has the upper hand after just these 5 heroes being picked for each team?
I think Arctic Wolves have the more solid comp. I prefer Shibby over Crunch. I like Rampage in the jungle far more than Grux. That's just personal preference. And I think the amount of disruption Arctic Wolves has, they can peel really easily against a lot of what Bronze Army is trying to do. You have the gadget mines with the slow, you have Wraith to back it up, Narbash with the Thung, and the speed boost as well, and Rampage with the Rock, and it's going to be really tough to try and get through all of that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this draft. I personally would also agree with my caster with probably the most famous hairline in all of esports. I would probably go with Arctic Wolves as well. But we'll have to see as we get into game here in 3, 2, 1, go. Here for our first game of this best of 3 semifinal. I'll fix the time there at the top for you guys. And Gems, why don't you go through and introduce the blue side?
So on the blue side, we have the Arctic Wolves. We have Crazy Fool on the Narbash, Survivor on that Wraith, Talreno on the Gadget, Cranky Trash Can on the Rampage, and God Eater on that Shimby.
Meanwhile, for the Bronze Army, it's going to be Koreas playing the Bellica, this time in the mid lane. Interesting little position swap there. Offlane will be handled by CMS Tark. We've got Griever. Looks like he's going to be in the jungle as the Crunch. Nabori, he's playing the Murdoch here. And then finally, Miso Sneaky playing a support, not so support, Steel.
What I love about God Eater, he's managed to stop this range minion so late into the lane that it's going to actually push towards him. He didn't actually have to use his Taskmaster that he actually got.
Yeah, he just used it there. Yeah, so I think the point of that is he didn't have to use his Taskmaster until a little bit later to keep that lane from pushing in, which is I don't know if that's an advantage per se, but it is interesting.
Yeah, he does have that dash level 1. It's just going to use him to survive as much as possible, but what he really cares about is that XP, and with the lane being set right out in front of his tower, he's going to get all that XP that he needs.
I don't know if they missed that thunk there on the CMS Tark, but still a lot of aggression forcing him to back up here in the offlane. Taking a look at some of these early cards for the teams. Not too much of a surprise. Couple of Taskmasters. We got the Demolitionist. Still a Cull of the Week on Grievertron, which apparently every hero deserves now. Do you think it's actually still worth it to pick up this card nowadays with the passive Cull of the Week put in?
I think it's still one of the best early game cards. There isn't many other alternatives, especially if you're going Death. So yeah, I do really like Cull of the Week. You can see Griever doing pretty well. It does speed up the clear a little bit better. The other option he has is to go Chaos, but he really wants the items that he can grab. So he wants things like Spritekin, Numbing Rogue, and access to those cards. And Growth is kind of, you have to get it.
CMS Tark gets a nice double smash and grab, but with Cranky Trashkin having the black buff and coming around from the backside, we talked a lot about jungle clears today and how getting the black buff and the green buff are so essential to your junglers. But Cranky Trashkin just a little bit faster there, manages to get the first blood out on the CMS Tark.
Yeah, first blood is on the board for the side with Arctic Wolves with Cranky. He's been doing pretty well in tournaments, and this is looking...
How did Talreno get away from that seismic assault? Somehow he manages to get out of it, and he puts down the Search and Destroy to get him out of the trouble in the mid lane. That was very interesting juke from Talreno. Ended up working out for him.
It just managed to survive. Will fall a little bit behind in farm as he's forced to go back. However, with like gems, we're going to see most likely he's got quick exit as a gem. Not sure if he's activated yet. Not activated yet, so a little bit slower. If he'd had the quick exit, he'd be getting to lane a lot quicker.
Oh, Survivor, please stop blocking me. CMS Stark will be able to find a kill onto Crazy Fool before he ends up dying. I'm sure Crazy Fool is very happy about that one. Very serene and everything. But at least he gets his carry a kill.
Yeah, it's an okay trade. I guess he's not going to be too upset about it. What we do need to be keeping track of here is the level. So God Eater is level 4 on Shimby. Whereas on the other side, we've got CMS Tark only at level 3.
So I guess we'll see a couple more of these levels come into play as these heroes try to get up to their ultimates. Notice that CMS Stark is not doing as well. And Miso Sneaky also at level 2, whereas where is it? Crazy Fool is at level 3. So I would say that the Steel ultimate is definitely something that Bronze Army need to get up early in this match, and with Miso Sneaky not having as good of an early game as he has in the past, it might see that kind of falter here.
Yeah, it is nearly the 5-minute mark. River buffs are spawning here. It just looks like it's actually going to be both river buffs going on the same side. So we're going to see if here Korea can actually use this invis, or if she's just going to go to mid lane and farm up instead.
Seema Stark seems to be having a bit of a difficult time in this lane. We noticed how his levels were not doing as well. Oh, actually inside the jungle, Grievotron trying to get away from Cranky Trashcan, but playing with the geometry a little bit there allows the Crunch to get out of a sticky situation. And, well, with the recent changes to Rampage, it's not going to cost Cranky Trashcan any mana. When you lose a rock like that, it used to be very devastating to Rampage as a jungler just because he didn't have the highest mana pool. He really relied on the buffs coming up in the river, but now there's not actually a whole lot of downside to just picking up rocks in the jungle.
Yeah, he can pick them up as much as he likes, and as he said, no cost to him, which is one of the reasons that actually kept him as a jungler. I felt like if he didn't get that back, he potentially would have fallen out of favor quite a bit more, especially with the slow that he's got now on it. So I don't know. It's a change to how you play him as well, because he's lost a lot of his ganking potentials that he would have before. With that mobility, he could jump up ledges, walk around ledges that you wouldn't necessarily be able to use normally.
Cranky Trashcan now has the Outlander Scout, so he's going to be able to get a little bit of word clear going on. Grievotron does scout him out going for the black buff, and he now knows that he really should probably pick that up right now. But Cranky Trashcan already giving his team a bit of an advantage, has the green buff here, might decide to go for the play on the black buff, but Grievotron manages to secure that himself before any kind of danger could come through.
Yeah, the extra empowered autos coming out from Griever just secured it. But again, we're 2-1 on the board. Light lead going here to Arctic Wolves, 31,000 to 30,000.
That's some good planning there, Rick. Cranky Trashcan comes in with a rock on the Griever. They use a surprise right as Grievotron was trying to go for the buff, and they almost expected someone to be a little bit further away, but they quickly regroup and get back over for the kill onto the Crunch. Now Korea's trying to get away. That's a search and destroy. That's Cranky Trashcan blocking the egress back to his own tower, and that's going to be another kill going over to Arctic Wolves, picking up 2 here, which should actually secure themselves a Fangtooth.
Instant decision onto this Fangtooth coming out. They managed to get a couple of kills. We've been seeing this before where teams wouldn't go straight onto it because of the low death timers, but Arctic Wolves so quick to make that decision that there isn't any time for the setup, and they're most likely going to grab this Fangtooth. It doesn't matter if a couple of them die, because of that gold lead they do manage to get from the first Fangtooth.
Yeah, it's an easy take for them and an easy couple of kills to start it out. So even though they didn't need the orange buff, I would say that's probably one of the best clears and earliest clears of Fangtooth that we've seen today, taking advantage of, you know, quick 2 kills, go right for the Fangtooth, no questions asked, no questions needed by Arctic Wolves, and Crazy Fool and the rest of the team proving that they're pretty much on the same wavelength right here.
Yeah, doing incredibly well. Look at the gold lead that's given them. 7,000 lead straight away off the bat. Double sections on board now as well from Cranky and Godita. Also, we've been seeing the Tyrant. I haven't really been speaking too much about Tyrant. Even with the jungle changes with less camps, Tyrant is still a perfect filler card for junglers. It's why we see it all the time. It just gives them that health at the 35 stacks, and it gives them power along the way. So the lovely sort of in-between card where you're trying to transition from early game to sort of late game cards with Unbroken Spirit, and it's still very strong.
Maybe we will see a little bit more of that grouping up to start in the early game, as really it was perfect for Arctic Wolves to get around the mid lane and go right for Fangtooth. Maybe that's even why we'll see, as you may have even asked for before, the 4v4 in the mid lane. In any case, though, Griever's going to try to get some aggression on the Cranky Trashcan. He may even know that Griever's just waiting there with the purple buff. Cranky Trashcan does have the Outlander Scout, still has that in his deck, so he did know that Griever was there with the Shadow Plane buff. We see a lot of junglers picking this up. He still hasn't given it up from the early game, so it allows him to clear the wards and also see when there are creepy crunches waiting around the corner with the Shadow Plane buff.
Yeah, it does look like neither team is really looking for anything like so any big engages right now. We have seen Cranky trying to go around here to try punish CMS Turk, but not going to be able to grab too much from it. It looks like it's a waiting game for the next Fangtooth and Enforcer team fight at the moment. And I mean, Cranky is trying to be a little bit greedy here with the jungle invade. Grux is there ready and waiting, and there is a lot of teammates waiting as well.
Yeah, but they started that off with a gank onto the tall Reno in the mid lane, so just having that extra bit of aggression there to the side made it difficult for Bronze Army to decide to go on to tall Reno, also requiring a good gank, or a gank juke from Tall with the speed gate. Now we're starting to see where Bronze Army are having difficulty finding the aggression. The tower goes down, and right after that, Grievertron gets into the lane to try to stop Arctic Wolves from getting it, but the get back is there. Back it up comes Grieverton. And eventually they'll be able to get the kill. Grievertron the first one to fall. CMS Stark is now in a lot of trouble. The rock has already been picked up by Cranky Trashcan. You can see him moving so slowly here. He's almost like he didn't make it out of the nursing home, and now he's trying to go get some maple syrup from his dad, Cranky Trashcan is. They're going to eventually find Koreas, get him back with the back it up, and they don't have any mana, but they have more than enough bodies to stop Belka from getting anywhere. Cranky Trashcan wants to dive a tier 2 tower, and he's going to go all the way to get the maple syrup.
Also, Fangtooth is back up. However, with these death timers, you can already see them back up again, and I think this is exactly what Bronze Army want. They want to try and look for a fight here while all these cooldowns are down, while their health bars are pretty low.
Shield slam on the God Eater, but man, Shinbi just has so much healing that it's not really making too much of a difference. She goes on forward, has the spotlight on the Miso Sneaky, can't get the kill with the all kill, and Grievertron wants to make something happen on the backside. Shinbi will eventually follow those big ham fists, and that's going to have to be it for Bronze Army. It was a good split fight from Arctic Wolves, but it went on a little bit too long, and they didn't have quite enough mana to make things happen.
It was a good idea from Bronze Army. They did need to sort of push Arctic Wolves there while they had low mana and health, but it was poorly executed, and they ended up losing one of their own. It would have been great if they managed to get anything from it, because that would have led straight into a Fangtooth, but they didn't. They weren't able to do it, and now all this means is that Arctic Wolves can reset up. They can now try and push for it, but you know, I don't think they still have time. I mean, actually surprising how quickly they're able to take this Fangtooth.
Yeah, it is going pretty quickly, and there is a Flame of Zekin available for Bronze Army on Grievertron, so it should actually be pretty easy for them here. So they managed to pick up a Fangtooth, so that's going to make it 1-1 for each side. Not a bad pickup after that last fight.
Yeah, the first one's incredibly important, purely because of the 5k gold you get right off the bat. The next couple don't give you that, but you do get power. But especially if you're losing fights, having an extra 1,000 gold on every single hero, you're going to be pretty happy with that and feel a bit more confident in upcoming fights.
Might be looking to get onto Torino once again. He's doing the weird floaty McFloat thing on the gadget. Here comes the side missile into the shield slam, but the nice rock is there from Cranky Trashcan to try to break this one up. Torino eventually falls to Grievertron, but they manage to get a return kill onto the Crunch. Can Cranky Trashcan get anything else here? Gets the ult off, but the rock that he throws will miss. And could have turned into something, but now he's got a whole lot of nothing, just walking around as a big Hulk figure.
Yeah, a 1-for-1 trade. Crazy for really going after Nibori here with that crash bang. Might have overstepped.
Well, he does give the kill over to Survivor, so I think it's okay. But Cranky Trashcan, he's ready on the backside, going for Nibori, and that's definitely a worth enough kill to lose Crazy Fool on the mid lane. Now Miso Sneaky, he's trying to smash Survivor, but it's not going too well right now, and the rock will eventually hit. Get back! No, please don't get back, Miso Sneaky. Cranky Trashcan wondering why exactly Survivor used that one, but Survivor really needed to get out of there, needed some amount of hit points to make sure that he was alive, so they will lose that on a kill, but at least they managed to have more turnaround on the mid lane, even though they don't get a tier 1 tower.
Yeah, it's looking again back in favor here of Arctic Wolves. It was looking a little bit shaky there when we saw Bronze Army able to take that Fangtooth. It helped them claw back a lot of gold. 5,000 lead now, which is exactly what one Fangtooth is worth in the early stages, not anymore. But it's going to be interesting to see how these teams sort of progress. Vision control, as we can see, is in favor of Arctic Wolves. They've been doing really well around this Fangtooth, controlling that side, allowing them to get these great rotations that we've been seeing with these fights.
Well, the tier 1 tower will be taken by Arctic Wolves. And God Eater doesn't really want to back up at all. Smash and grab will hit. Green buff gets popped, and she's quite okay to get the Russian beat out. But here comes the Shield Slam off the mark from Miso Sneaky. Grievatron still wants to go on in onto the Shinbi. Can Shinbi get away from here? There's a little bit of damage going on the Grievatron, and Bronze Army will just make the call to get on back out of that fight. And are they really? No, they're not going to go for OP right now. They're just going to hang out on the mid lane and enjoy each other's friendship for a little bit longer.
Hey, one interesting thing is, with Fangtooth being so popular now as an objective, do you ever consider now going for OP when one team's at Fangtooth? It's sort of that discussion we're seeing in the past when we had the big Raptors that was worth a lot of gold. But Fangtooth, imagine it's the third or fourth Fangtooth. One team's going to really want to focus that down, try and get that number. Fangtooth for that bonus they get. Nibori backed up is going to be taken out, yeah.
Yeah, that's just a little bit rough. It was sort of the situation that we saw earlier between the Stack and Asura Rage, where Asura Rage did take the Fangtooth, and the Stack could have gone for OP, but they were a little bit late on it and then couldn't do anything about it. That's kind of the situation that you're talking about here. So Arctic Wolves, they'll be able to take the Fangtooth while Cranky Trashcan is getting beaten and bruised over here. Actually, the Tesla Dome, though, what? That's more than enough damage to take down Miso Sneaky on the steal, and it keeps Cranky Trashcan alive. Crazy Fool with the Shadow Plane buff, looking for CMS Tark. Smashing Grab is going to interrupt the Crash Bang Boom, but CMS Tark can't even get the Crazy Fool kill. That was all he wanted to go for, and he wasn't going to be able to get it. Survivor's pushing in the mid lane all by his lonesome here, and the rest of his team pushing in on the left. This is some good split aggression from Arctic Wolves. Get back used onto Grievatron, and that's going to keep Survivor alive. May not want to go in right now, but he's gotten crunched rather low. Arctic Wolves, after getting the Fangtooth and keeping Cranky Trashcan alive, they'll back up for now. Aggression's over for the moment.
Yeah, it's looking very, very good for Arctic Wolves. They managed to gain a little bit more of a lead. The lead is still actually not as great as I was hoped, but then again, the cards haven't been updating for me, so I could be a little bit behind there. For me, it's only a 4,000.
Yeah,
4,000
replay bugs are fun. They might be going. Grievatron's going on to the gadget, who we currently can't see. It looks like he's punching the air, but the Search and Destroy does come out. Shinbi's coming around from the backside. God Eater thought about going for Nabori, but is actually just going to chase away Grievatron. And CMS Dark is going to get caught out. He just goes way too far without the rest of his team. Crazy Fool wants to find the Thunk onto somebody. Shield Slam's going to go on top of Crazy Fool's noggin, but eventually Miso Sneaky's going to be the one that ends up dead. Cranky Trashcan looking for another rock. The Seismic Assault does hit onto Crazy Fool. Korea's does get the Neuro Disruptor to kill off Crazy Fool, but that's going to be the only Fool that Bronze Army are able to kill right now. Most of their Fools are still going down. Nabori gets a nice hat, gets some damage done to him, still can't see it. The rock, not gonna hit this time around. And is this actually Arctic Wolves going for an inhib just 17, nearly 18 minutes into the game? They're gonna find it. There's nobody here from Bronze Army to defend this one, and they're gonna walk on in, take the fight. They've got all these lanes pushing in. It's such a surprise for Bronze Army to see that now they have 2 inhibs down at just 18 minutes in.
Yeah, 2 inhibs down is pretty big deal right there. 2 lanes are going to be pushing into that core, which allows them to just go on to Prime at any point, and there isn't much that can be done to, you know, challenge that. And Arctic Wolves is going to set up now. I won't be surprised if they're going to start setting up wards around the greenside jungle here, around the Prime Pit, and get ready for this next fight, which is going to be around... well, Fangtooth is coming up soon. So it is a bit arguable. This is that situation I was talking about. Do they go for Fangtooth? Do they go for Prime? And I think going for Fangtooth is a safer option, especially with 2 inhibs pushing, 2 waves pushing in because of those 2 inhibitors, and then they can go for Prime after the fact.
It's kind of strange, actually. The 2 inhibs that were taken are not the ones that we've usually seen taken. It's usually been the left side for each team, away from the OP, but this time it's the mid and the right for Arctic Wolves, just kind of the lanes that we're pushing. Still doesn't set them as well for OP, but it's more than enough for this team that's pretty far ahead. They've been taking advantage of a lot of these fights. Crazy Fool giving up his life when he needs to for his team. That's going to be the second Fangtooth going the way of Arctic Wolves, and they seem primed to push in for that purple dude.
Yeah, they managed to grab another Fangtooth, gain the bonus. I think it's move speed at that point, and now they're going straight for it. And look, what can Bronze Army realistically do in this situation? They've all backed. they haven't seen any sort of movement about from Arctic Wolves. They should really be suspecting that they're on Prime, but they can't do anything about it, even if they know that fact.
Yeah, that's the thing. They really can't do anything, even if they know, because these minions are just relentless and pushing into the Bronze Army base. And now Arctic Wolves are going to join that fight as well. God Eater leading the way on the K-pop hero. And Korea, wow, get back into a whole lot of pain is going to lead to the Belka dying first here. And what else exactly can Arctic Wolves do here? They want to make sure that they're safe and secure in going for the core, so they're going to run through the tower and try to take down these buildings in the left lane.
Yeah, it's the safest route. They've got 2 waves pushing in. They can force Bronze Army to deal with these 2 waves as they just get free extra bonus here. They're going to get gold from the waves, the towers as well, which is just extra bonus.
Look at me so
really.
sneaky. You know that he's going to go for that every single time. Tesla Dome dropped down, though, by Taurino, and Grievertron is going to leave Nabori to be the only one to fight here. 4 dead in the blink of an eye here on Bronze Army. The only one left is the Belka to defend, and I don't really even think that's going to be enough. Miso Sneaky wanted to do it for his team, wanted to be the hero, but eventually the Wolves will attack, and the Arctic Wolves will be the ones who take this game and put themselves one step closer to getting into the semifinals for PCL 11.
He did have to take it because of those waves pushing in. They were on a timer. They were 4v5 against the Prime team. They really had to just go for Hail Mary and hope to get something out of it, but they're so far behind that they didn't have the damage to actually take out anyone, and it ended up just costing them. The match just was already lost by that point.
Yeah, it was just so hard to come back against that Arctic Wolves team. Survivor looking excellent on the Wraith 909, having a pretty big impact there, and also Cranky Trashcan having a great game at 6-1-11. So at just 21.5 minutes, Arctic Wolves will take the victory over Bronze Army, giving themselves the 1-0 advantage in this 3rd quarterfinal of the day. Gems, I mean, we have yet to see Reborn in the quarterfinals. Do you think the Arctic Wolves will give them a little bit more of a challenge, or even Guile Esports?
It's looking like it's going to be a close one because I think Reborn, as we already know, they're really good at the objective control. But Arctic Wolves got teams like this, they really love these early game fights. We've seen Guile go for a lot of sort of skirmishing, and it's going to be interesting to see who can control these objectives when other teams try to mix it up. Like we saw already the Stack, even though they've been dropped out, doing some interesting jungle invades to try psych out people, to try push people behind. Things like that can really mess with another team's morale and can actually force them to make a few more mistakes because they're behind when they wouldn't normally be behind. And I don't know, it's going to be rough to make a judgment. All these teams have been playing really well today.
Well, we're setting up for a fantastic day number 2, but still a lot of action to come here. We've got Arctic Wolves and Bronze Army for game number 2 of their quarterfinal, and later we're going to have Reborn coming up for you guys in our last quarterfinal of the day. I'm still sitting in this seat. My butt's getting a little bit numb, but I'm still here for you guys, bringing in the PCL action. We're going to be back after a short break with game number 2 of this quarterfinal.